Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I am Blackfire Rebel, also known as Luke, and we're looking at Sova today. I've tried recording this once, and for some reason the recording just paused halfway through. Very strange. But we are going to be looking at Sova today, a character who I think needs a lot of practice to actually be any good with, because right now I don't like him, and I think he's kind of bad, but I think his kit will allow, when you are good at him and you know how enemies think, and you know how the game works a lot better, and you know how to bounce his arrows correctly, which we'll get into in a moment. I think he's going to be a very strong character. I think he's going to be very good at pistol rounds. I think he's going to be very good anti-eco, and I think he's going to be very good eco as well. So, to get into his first ability, it is Owl Drone. Get a little drone on your wrist, you left click, can't use it because we're technically in the warm-up, we're just going to end game phase here. So, there we go. So, you get a little drone, you get the world's worst targeting reticule and movement. I hate it, but I think once you master it, it'll actually be more effective. So, the way this works is really short timer. I don't even have enough time to explain it. So, once you've used it once in a round, it does bug out, because obviously you can't use it twice in a regular round, so we can't even see the little drone on my wrist now, but that's kind of funny. Little feature for you there. So, the way this works is, you have a drone, you can shoot a shock dart, not a shock dart, a tracking dart. Tracking dart hits someone. It will track them. Every 1.5 seconds, 1.5, 3 seconds, it'll trigger a tracking ping. Okay? A bit like the camera from Cypher. But the targeting method is finicky. Yeah, I struggle with it. But I think it's actually effective if you master it. So I really hated, and I still do hate, the fact that my crosshair moves away from the center of my screen, right? I hate that, and it makes there like a little, it almost feels like there's a dead zone to reach max speed, which I don't really like, but it makes actually hitting the dart on an enemy, it makes hitting the dart much easier, kind of, but it also makes it harder. Because if say I wanted to hit that, right, we'll wait for the next one. Okay, say I wanna hit that ultimate orb, right?
Take flight.
Okay, so the ultimate orb has peeked me and is down there. So I move my cursor to where he would be. So it's like you overshoot and then you undershoot and then you try and hit him, and it feels weird. Feels weird and I don't like it. I don't know why they don't just move the drone around quicker. I feel like this is a way to nerf the drone spinning around too quickly, but like, does the drone spinning around too quickly actually make it that strong? I don't know. Feels weird, feels janky. I don't like it, but I'm sure it will be effective in the right hands. Shock Bolt, your second purchase ability. The Owl Drone costs 300. Shock Bolt costs 100. Shock Bolt is your bow, your signature, well, not your signature ability, but the thing that makes Sova is his bow. This is a dart that you shoot. You can charge it up to make it go further and make it have less drop on it, obviously, like a bow would. And it explodes in an electric burst. Wow, look at that. If the enemy is really close to the burst, it will do 90 damage. As they come out, it does, not 90 damage. Yeah, 90 damage. Yeah, it does do 90 damage if they're really close to where the objects explodes from. And then the closer to the edge they are, the less damage it will do. So, this is why I think Sova is so good for anti-eco or on an eco round. Say it's pistol round, sometimes referred to as a yeehaw round, because everyone just buys the Deagle equivalent, whatever it's called, and pretends they're cowboys. If you know that the whole team's coming through this door, you can all of a sudden, you've done up to 90 damage to their whole team with a 100 cost ability. 100 cost ability. That's kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of nuts. And then all of a sudden, everyone is a single body shot. All of a sudden, everyone's a single body shot. From like a good pistol, like a Ghost or the Deagle, which isn't a Deagle, and I've forgotten its name. Which is pretty insane. And then we're gonna come on to the signature ability, the innate ability. This recharges every, I want to say 15 seconds, but we'll check it in a sec. Recon Bolt works in the same way. So, did I go over bouncing last time? Okay, I didn't go over bouncing with the last one, but we will for this one. So, the Shock Bolt can do this too. Bouncing. Right click, 1 bounce. Right click again, 2 bounces. Right click a third time, back to 0 bounces. So, the way this works is, you shoot a Recon Bolt at the wall. It pings 3 times. revealing enemies that are in its line of sight. So enemies have to be line of sight. So you'll look on the minimap and you'll think, wow, look how big that area that I'm revealing is. That's such a big area. But it only affects line of sight. So if that's the wrong ability. So if someone is right here, they're not getting revealed. They're not getting revealed. They're not getting revealed. Has to be direct line of sight, which makes it pretty unpowerful. Makes it pretty bad when combined with the fact that it can be shot. It's on the wall, an enemy can just be like bap bap, kill it, one shot, it dies. And all of a sudden they're not getting detected, right? Which feels pretty weak. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I think, again, in the right hands, you're going to use this in a way to be like, bam, it's going to bounce into the perfect position, it's going to scan the whole enemy team, and then I'm just going to whap out me shock dart, I'm going to hit them with the shock dart, and they're all going to die, I'm going to bounce it the same way, they're all going to be standing around it. So again, I think it takes game knowledge, I think it takes knowing what the enemy team's likely to do, knowing where they're going to likely stack up, and then you can just use these two abilities in conjunction with each other, maybe even with the drone, to find out where the enemy's gathered and do up to 90 damage to every single one of them if they are grouped up enough, which is insane. And then the ult works differently to the shock bolt, but I feel like you end up using it in the same way. You can either use it to try and kill one person, or you can be like, I know where the group of enemies are, so I'm just going to throw some Hail Marys down and try and get some damage off on them. Or you can use it to clear a site's likely positions, especially if people have already been damaged from taking a site, if you're on the retake, which is very nice. So, the ultimate, Hunter's Fury. You equip a bow, long range, wall piercing energy blast. It's a big circle, pierces through walls, doesn't go the whole way across the map, has a limited range, but it is a very long range. So if you know where an enemy is through a wall, so you ping down an arrow, and you're like, oh, I see them in that little alcove that's down there. Look on the minimap. You can see the range. So you can wallbang people. It does 80 damage a cast. So each one of those arrows does up to, well, it does exactly 80 damage. So it will two-bang anyone. Like I said, if you're retaking a site, it's likely that the enemy's already damaged a little bit. So you might be getting some one-shots off on there. But again, I think this takes game knowledge. I think it takes good use of your other abilities, good use of maybe Cypher's abilities if he's on your team also, good callouts from your teammates, and knowing the angles, right? Because if I'm playing down in, I forget what the correct callout is for it, down in A short, I guess it is. Yeah, if I'm Sova and I'm on the defending team, and I know that no one's in here, and I'm just checking it, and then my friend says, oh, there's 3 of them in window, which is in mid. I need to know the elevation, right? And I don't know the elevation. I have no idea where the elevation is. But if I knew the elevation, look at the minimap. I can just be down here, and I can just murder some people. I think it's probably something like that, but I don't know for sure. Which, is an interesting way to do it. I think, yeah, like I said, I think Sova is going to be good, but it's going to take good communication from teammates. It's going to take knowing how to bounce your arrows correctly. It's going to be knowing the angles through the walls. It's going to take knowing how enemies like to position. It's going to take getting used to the weird way the drone controls, and then he will be really powerful. But as of right now, I don't like him. But I think if you spend the time to get good, to practice him, he is going to be one of the more powerful agents in the game. So that is how to use him effectively, I believe. You're going to need to put the hours in for this one to use him effectively. That's Sova, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Blackfire Rebel, also known as Luke. If you're interested in watching me play the game live and be like, why did I ever listen to this guy? He actually has no idea what he's doing. Look at his score. It's 1-20. My aim isn't very good. I'm working on it. I used to be LEM in CSGO, but that was like almost a decade ago or something. I was like 14 back then. I am not 14 anymore. I'm an old man now. But if you're interested in seeing some of my actual gameplay and stuff like that, I stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/BlackfireRebel. Also, I do other games too, strategy games and stuff, which probably don't interest you. There's not a huge amount of overlap. But that's kind of weird. You probably noticed that on the channel already if you've been following. It's like Valorant, RimWorld. Valorant, RimWorld. Because, RimWorld's a great game. Anyway, enough rambling from me. It sounds like I've just rambled to get the video to 10 minutes, but I don't monetize my videos anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's pretty funny. Thank you so much for watching. That was Sova. Let me know what you want to see about Valorant in the comments. Let me know about who you want to see at Valorant in the comments. And let me know if I got anything wrong. Because there was a few things in the other videos I got wrong. So, you know. Like, there's a whole thing in Jet. There's a whole Jet ability that I just missed. Because I'm an idiot. Even though I've played the most Jet out of any other agent. If you just hold space when you're playing Jet, you'll just float. You'll just float in the air for a bit. And you'll slowly lose height. It's like activating Featherfall in, like, Minecraft or something. It's like being a Minecraft chicken. Anyway, I love you. Peace. Goodbye. Bye, 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 bye.